Well, hello folks, and welcome back to episode 3 of Gaborn's Ranger Escapades. We're going to be going on a little bit of an adventure today. When we started out, it was me and Wabomund. He's going to be leveling up a mage with me. He'll probably be in most of the future videos in one form or another. I wanted to go get some of the armor, but the millers were being killed, and I didn't really care to waste my free time that night waiting for them to respawn. I don't know what their respawn timer is. It's probably like 20-some minutes. And I could have asked whoever was killing them just to wait. People are generally really friendly on this server, so... But I decided to go kill a gnoll hunter I had on tracking. I'm about ready to level up, so I want that experience. And more importantly, I want the other part of the staff. Bam. Top part of the staff. Unfortunately, I had just left Qeynos a little bit ago and put the other part of the staff in the bank, so I do not get a weapon upgrade at this point in time until I go back to the bank and get it. It's like 8 stones, which is pretty heavy at this point. The first thing I wanted to do today for our little mission was to go kill some poachers. There is a quest for poacher heads that will get me a bow, and I'm eagerly looking forward to that. They're quite expensive to buy, so I was eager to hop into it and get that weapon upgrade. I knew that I had the staff as soon as I went back to the bank and got that turn in, so things are kind of looking up for our gear here. Unfortunately, one thing I didn't consider at the time was that these bears would be hostile to Wabomund. So we entered the cave to look for poachers, and he instantly gets attacked. I decided to jump in and help. I figured if a ranger saw us, they would murder us, and we could respawn, and it wouldn't be any big deal. What I was not expecting was whenever we killed this damn bear, I even knew the rangers weren't going to like it down there, but what I wasn't expecting is that it would have faction hits. So if you come in here to farm bear skins, you're going to be taking faction hits. That was new to me because I've never actually killed anything in here before. That kind of put me on edge because there's also another large bear in here named Mammoth that is like level 20, and I at this point I was not going to jump in anymore to help with bears. I probably should have just bailed out as soon as we took that faction hit. But I had to find the poachers. The second mistake I made here is that I didn't look at my tracking list over there on the side. If I did, I would have noticed that the poacher conned red. So apparently I don't know what level they are. I think we're level 5 at this point. And we wouldn't have been able to take them anyways. But besides those poachers, there's also a gnoll poacher that spawns in here that is level 5 or 6. It's not nearly as high level, but you do not get a bow for turning its head in, which is rather unfortunate. He tries to back away from the bear cub, and I think it jumps him, or jumps his pet, before his pet can back all the way out. And hey, I find the poacher. Me and my big, brilliant brain, I could have just tracked him straight from outside, right by the waterfall, and known, oh yeah, he's red, we're not going to be able to take him on anyways. So we set out on an adventure. Qeynos, or Surefall Glade, was basically shut off to us. On the run back to Qeynos, we killed some bears and wolves. I hit level 6. And we had to start planning, what do we want to do next? Where do we want to go? We could go to Blackburrow. Wouldn't be much of an adventure. We want to go someplace new, someplace neither of us have been before, and we've both leveled up in Blackburrow before. I did it on live for a little bit, and I'm not a big fan of the place, and I'll go into that later on. So, where can we go? Where can we go if we want something new around here? First stop is Sneed, because I also need to ask him a question. If you'll remember Morona Castkin, she told us to ask Sneed about Ron Castkin, her brother. Sneed tells us that Ron was last seen playing around near the aqueducts in the North Pond, or by the North Pond. Apparently there was a man dressed in black that he was hanging out with. Huh. So we need to go to the North Pond, possibly down into the aqueducts, and look for the man in black or Ron. Maybe they're hanging out around there. Unfortunately, the mangy rat was not up, so I didn't get to do any science experiments at this level, at level 6, to see how much experience we got. Kind of made me sad. Wobblemund went to go get a few pet summoning reagents, and I decided to start sizing up the entrance to the Qeynos Aqueducts here. I believe that this is the North Pond. It's the only pond I know of that has an entrance to the aqueducts. There is something like 4 or 5 entrances to get into the aqueducts here. I'm not going to showcase them all. Some are, I believe, dangerous. You have to go through an evil section to get to them. There's at least 3 that are incredibly easy. This is one of them. But we decided that, yeah, we're going to go down there and try to find Ron Castkin and see what else we can run into. We've also heard rumors from a guard that one of the guards lost a child, and they believe that she went down into the aqueducts, so we need to find evidence of her as well. The problem with the aqueducts, however, is that not only are they dark, but a good portion of them forces you to swim underwater. Now, you're not really in any danger of drowning while you're down here, but there are numerous other dangers, and the water will be an obstacle if you want to escape. You might be able to juke and jive your way through here and outrun something that's chasing you, but there's a real good chance at this level that you're not going to be able to outswim it. Jumping in from the North Pond here, you can see Ron Castkin and Vin Moltar walking by. They're best buds, apparently. Ron Castkin will aggro on good characters, good alignment. I have no idea if he will attack bad characters, but he does not like goody two-shoes. There's a smuggler group down here and a group of thugs. I believe they help the Qeynos Underground, and some of the corrupt tradesmen smuggle goods in through the Karanas. Not a very friendly group of people, but I don't believe they are outright hostile to evil characters. I'll leave that up to you for a little bit of faction experimenting. Further down here, even deeper into the muck and poo, there's Beggar Wylan, surrounded by a bunch of sewer rats. Who is he, and why are these rats appearing to worship him? Beware of the Plague Bringer. Surely he is not the Plague Bringer. If you'll remember from earlier, and from the things that we have heard around the city, a plague was recently unleashed on the Karanas. It has killed many, sickened many, and mutated animals all across the Karanas. And it was unleashed by the followers of Bertoxilus, who live through these creepy-ass corridors here. If you for some reason find yourself stumbling around down here and see this red paintings on the wall, I would suggest you turn tail and run, unless you are pure evil. You can see some of the good guys here, trying to hold the evil at bay as it flows out and emanates from their citadel underneath the city. Led, most likely, by none other than Commander Kane. I believe that we're going to have to do some investigating down here at some point. There's a lot of unanswered questions that remain in this city. Are the brothers at war? Is Kane the one who unleashed the plague? Just how strong are the followers of Bertoxilus growing? And is there anything that a ranger can do to help slow down the spread of evil? We dive down into the aqueducts. It's a spooky place. But we both have 2 very bright lanterns. Wobblemund went human mage, so he's blind as a bat in the dark and at night. And I'm a half-elf. I can see fairly well, but at the same time, I'm kind of scared of the dark. We bump into Bait Masterson, a fisherman down here. Fishing turds. He's Turd Burglar. Turd Burgleson is what we should call him. I hail him trying to strike up a conversation, and he says, "You know, I took up fishing because it was a nice, quiet activity. Most of all, I took it up to avoid conversing with strangers. Get the picture?" He's probably part of some quest. Or maybe he's just somebody you can kill down here if you want a fishing pole of your own. And you can see there's a regular snake there. There are mobs of all levels. I think there's a level 40 inspector just around the corner. The evil area has mobs all the way up to level 50, I think. There's level 40 specters. You can see smugglers and ringleaders on my tracking list. The small alligators, if you track your way to them, I believe you can kill them for alligator eggs. Or you can kill them so a bloated alligator will spawn and give you alligator eggs. But what we're looking for are some rares. There's an undead knight down here. There is a named... what is it? It's a named cube, named Cubert, which is also involved in a quest we're going to be doing. There's a couple other things. There's Ron Castaway, who I am looking for. The Throne of Brigade? The Iron Throne? Iron Toe Brigade rules Norath? Some of the graffiti down here is just confusing. Some of it is downright spooky. Like seeing Shark wrote on the wall and pointing into the water. Knowing that you actually need to go into the water is... yeah, spooky. There are no sharks in here that I've seen, but there are gigantic piranhas that will eat your face off. Vin Moltor is part of the Opala Paw quest, I believe. I tried to give him some booze, and he didn't really care. He took it and walked away. I was hoping he'd sit and drink with us since he was burping. Seemed like he might be down to party, but he wasn't. And I was kind of confused here. I wasn't entirely sure if this was the NPC we were looking for in regards to the quest for Ron Castkin. I just assumed it was at the time, but as we've seen, it absolutely is not. There is actually an NPC skeleton down here called Ron Castkin, even though I have no idea who his placeholder is or what his respawn time is. Usually... I've never had him respawn on me when I've been down here killing things and waiting. I've only seen him after I've left for like 6 hours, whenever I come back the next day. Because by this point, since I'm coming back to edit after the fact, I've already killed him. Probably 7 or 8 times. Trying to get his turn-in rewards. Which we'll go into more detail later on once we find him. But yeah, we're going to kill this skeleton here, and then we're going to move on to fighting... or looking for Cubert, which is a good experience romp that we have. So, the Undead Knight is not actually that scary. He cons indifferent, so he will not automatically attack you. I'm not sure if he's actually involved with anything else, or what his lore is, but he drops the same item every single time, a limestone ring. He doesn't always have a weapon, like every skeleton. It's random what he spawns with, but the limestone ring gives you 5 hit points, and it's not lore. And I believe he's on like a 6 or 9 minute respawn timer, so you can farm that. As a level 6, you could solo him on your own. You could probably solo him at level 5. Wobblemun did a random roll for it and got a 96. Damn it. He beat me for it. Yeah, you could easily farm enough of these for yourself or for you and a buddy. Get an extra 10 hit points. Woohoo, that's an extra hit at this level that you could survive. So, I tried to give him the ring, but damn it, he didn't want it. We'll get him his own rings before we get out of here. Or maybe something better. But anyways, let's go see if we can find Cubert, instead of just walking around waiting for something to find and murder us. So, just a little bit further down from where we were killing the undead knight at, there are these beggars and mercenaries and a shady mercenary. The shady mercenary drops a fancy back piece. By fancy, I mean it has like 5 AC or something. But again, all of those people have their own faction system, and I believe that's tied into the Rogues Guild up above. So if you want to kill them, just be prepared that you might be hated once you go back into town. The Aradune is stinky graffiti was back there. I believe it's scattered around Norath. And beware of the Plague Bringers. Yeah. If that wall and this artistic display on the walls doesn't make your skin crawl, then I don't know what to tell you. That right there is a for sure sign that you are not welcome. The only people who will find that welcoming are evil people. If they're from Neriak, they're probably going to love that decor, and they'll want to go there. So we bypassed that because that would just be a one-way ticket back to our spawn points. And we continued on through the water. I believe at some point we found a giant piranha. We found another way out, which I believe that exit right there leads to the bank. So if you go to the bank, right outside of it, there's a pond of water, and underneath a bridge, you'll find an entrance to the sewers that leads here. And this place is where Qbert spawns, as well as these gelatinous cubes. Now, these cubes are kind of dangerous for the specific reason that they hit hard and they root. So, if you come down here so low and get jumped, don't assume you're going to be able to run away. It's not just a quick swim whenever your feet are rooted to the ground. What we did, however, was stay down here for quite a while, just killing the cubes and the rats, occasionally jumping down there to fight that piranha, and really it was quite good experience. I don't know if what the ZEM, the zone experience modifier, is for this zone, but we were getting like 3% experience for every cube that we killed. Far better than, say, fighting over gnolls in Blackburrow and avoiding the occasional train that came through, or wasting time in Qeynos Hills running around trying to track down the lone straggler that we could manage to kill. And after killing there for a while, bam, there was Qbert. He seems to be a rare spawn, even though whenever he would spawn after a while, it would normally be in a group of 2 or 3. You'd kill one and then he'd instantly spawn again right behind you. Or come rolling along like he does. He is supposed to drop a tattered dress that is used in another quest that I haven't actually showcased yet. I believe I found out about it when I went to the bank and hailed a guy who was talking there. But anyways, one of the guards is missing his daughter, and they believe that she's lost down here. If you kill Qbert enough times, eventually you'll get a small tattered dress, and there are 3 people that you can return this tattered dress to. I will show you all of them whenever I eventually get around to turning in that dress. And turning in that dress gives you a very small chance of getting a +3 intelligence earring, which would be useless to me unless I wanted to wear it to raise the chance of gaining skills, but it would actually be fairly useful for Wabomund there. But again, you're looking for Qbert, who is a rare spawn, a tattered dress, which is his rare drop, and then the reward, which is probably an ultra rare reward. All of this on a sub-level 10 character. ultimately not worth it when you could just invest the time in leveling up and buy much better gear. But after killing Qbert for a bit, we went and killed an undead knight to get another ring. I have no idea how many times we killed Qbert. It had to have been like 6 or 7, and we only had one dress drop that night. So unfortunately, Wabomund did not get his dress in this camp. I believe we came back here the next night, however, and leveled up for quite a while. Again, there's no competition down here. There's nobody else coming to compete for your mobs. The gelatinous cubes spawn and basically just feed themselves to you. They don't socially aggro together, so you can just kill them one at a time as they roll on top of each other. Quite frankly, it's pretty damn peaceful, all things considered. I was really terrified of coming into the Aqueducts at first here. I was assuming that there would be tons of things that would want to aggro us and kill us, but as long as you stay out of the evil area and possibly check your faction with everything else that you run into. I mean, if you're an evil necromancer or something like that, the beggars and the guards and bait masters, and they might not like you. Might not be a good place for evil people unless you can make your way to the evil section. I'll never know. But that was it for tonight. I think I got 71% into level 6 or 7. I'm not entirely sure when I open up my inventory. I felt quite triumphant after that little adventure. I'd never really been into the Qeynos Aqueducts before. And in EverQuest, if you explore a new area, or hell, even some of the areas you've been to a dozen times, if you go into those dangerous places and come out on top, then it is usually a good feeling. There were no corpse runs in our future. We didn't die and have to go recover our body from a deep dark pit of hell. We had a grand adventure tonight. We saw some things that we had never seen before, and we learned a little bit more about the 20-year-old game that we are still playing. As far as the future for our adventures go, I probably won't be showing any more of the aqueducts, though I'll be going down into them a little bit more. I believe in the future we'll be looking at Blackburrow and possibly someplace a little bit more distant. Though don't think for a second that we're going to go to Kelethin.